Welcome to the oral arguments and legal theory review of the Alabama Coushatta Tribal Appellate Court case, Petroleum Development Company, Limited, or PDCO, versus the Tribal Council. This video will focus on key legal concepts, including tribal sovereignty, commercial jurisdiction, and due process analysis within tribal litigation. The core of this dispute is PDCO's challenge to the termination of their 30-year oil and gas lease by the Tribal Council. The appellant is Petroleum Development Company, Limited, while the respondent is the Alabama Coushatta Tribal Council. The case is being heard by the Alabama Coushatta Court of Appeals. The 2015 lease involved 2,340 acres of tribal land, specified a 12% royalty plus a $2 million bonus, and was approved under Tribal Code. PDCO emphasizes its substantial investment of $85 million, consistent production output, and full compliance with all existing legal reporting laws. A change in leadership following the 2022 election led to a new ordinance, Section 3 of September 17, requiring a mandatory Tribal Environmental Impact Report, or TEIR, for active operations. Crucially, Ordinance Section 3 of September 17 only applies to leases executed after January 1, 2022, confirming its non-retroactivity to pre-existing agreements. Despite the non-retroactivity clause, the Tribal Council terminated the 2015 lease and issued an eviction notice requiring PDCO to vacate within 3 days. The Tribal Court upheld the termination, declaring the 2015 lease void ab initio for lacking the newly required TEIR, and ordered PDCO to return the $2 million bonus. The key issues on appeal focus on the Tribal Court's jurisdiction over this commercial dispute and the legality of the retroactive application of the new ordinance and due process concerns. Arguments for jurisdiction include the concurrent authority over commercial leases on tribal land and the tribe's persistent authority over non-members engaged in consensual commercial relationships. Relevant legal precedents include Worcester v. Georgia, which established tribal sovereignty, and Kerr v. Hunkins regarding state jurisdiction limits and tribal remedies. The due process argument relies on the Landgraf principle, which holds that laws should not be retroactive unless clearly intended. Applying the new ordinance retroactively violates Section 3 of September 17 itself. PDCO asserts the 2015 lease is a vested contractual right. The retroactive application of the new ordinance impairs settled rights and disrupts an $85 million investment. The sovereign immunity argument posits that tribal immunity does not shield constitutional violations that affect non-tribal parties. Immunity may also be waived or restricted when the tribe engages in commercial activities impacting third-party property rights, creating commercial exceptions. The forum selection clause is limited, as it cannot create jurisdiction where none exists under established law. Furthermore, parties cannot, by private contract, grant power to a court that the legislature has not already conferred. The respondent's theory stresses tribal sovereignty, giving the nation absolute authority over its internal affairs and assets. They emphasize environmental protection as a sovereign duty and argue for deference to internal governance, keeping disputes within tribal structures.